Hi, it's Kathy from Raven Vintage. Welcome back to the Kit Crate collab. This is the final week, the flip through week for the March Junk Journal Challenge hosted by Dawn at Emerald Mama's Creations. From Dawn, we received the So Lovely Junk Journal kits, and there were 6 of us, which includes Dawn. And every day in March, except for Sundays, the creators took you through the process of their creation, what they made, their interpretation of the kit that they received. Now, we each received the same So Lovely kit, but everyone has done a little bit something different. And we basically all have the same papers, embellishments, and fabrics, maybe a different style, but the same amount of items and the same configuration. So it's interesting to see how things are so different with something so similar. So this is all I have left. Now, it was not a challenge from Dawn. It was my own challenge to use every single thing in the kit. And I showed the ladies the other day, the creators in the group, this is what I had left. And since then, I've even reduced it more because I watched some of their videos. I got caught up on binge watching everybody, and they inspired me to make even more. So I made some more clusters and added those to my journal. So there is a printable in Dawn's shop that you can grab. I grabbed it pretty quickly, I'll tell you, because it's really cute. There's 9 to a page. And I forget how many pages in each of the printable kits, but they're pictures of sewing patterns. So you can cut them out so that they are like artist trading card size, and around the corners and all the bits. But what's so great about these are the different colors. So they are really nice to match up with everything in your kit, in your journal as you're making it. So out of the kit, this is all I have left. Like I said, those printables aren't part of the kit, but that's what I had left. This is all of the fabric I have left. This is it. You'd think like, why couldn't I just use that little bit more? I probably could do tag toppers or something, but, and then the pattern paper, the tissue paper, and maybe just the odd little small chunk like this of the instruction pages that come in the pattern. So I was able to use, I would say, most 98% of the kit that came. So I'm just going to set that to the side. I just wanted to show you what I had left. So yes, make sure you take a look at the other, I've got the other creators listed below if you want to see their interpretation. Maybe you have already. And for those of you that have come over to my channel from their channels, so Kentucky Krafter, DearJulieJulie, Bexx from BlackWhisperCrafts, Cindy Lewis, and of course Dawn herself, welcome and thank you for stopping by my channel. So Dawn, let's take a look at my final journal, and I want to do the closure with you. I'll show you how to do the ribbon closure, and then we'll talk about the kit and what I made with the kit. So the journal came, let's get rid of the fidget toy part. One of the things in the kit, it was a 9x12 envelope. That's what I chose to do my cover with. And earlier, I forget if it was the second or the third video, I showed you how to do I think it was the second video, how to do a 2-hole ribbon closure. And now we're going to string it. So it is an envelope, so those holes are only on one side of the envelope, the back of the envelope. They did not come through this side. So I showed you how to do that. And then we put some grommets in it. And now I have the ribbon that came with the kit. So this was actually the ribbon that tied the packages together. So it came with the kit. And I chose to use this as my ribbon closure for my journal. So we're going to string it through one end, each end of the ribbon. One goes through one hole, one goes through the other hole. We're going to string it through from the inside to the outside. And if it makes it easier for you to bring these through the hole, you can squinch these up or roll this up and put tape around it or washi so it looks like a shoelace. Or you could even, depending on the size of your ribbon, you could use a like a darning needle. But you know what, if I just kind of scrunch it up like that, I can usually get enough through the hole that I can grab it with my pokey tool and then pull it through. So this might be a little difficult to show you, but I'm basically going to push the fabric through the hole or up against the hole as best as I can so that I can grab it from the other side. So see there, it came through no problem. Just gently going to pull that through there. Now the other end, I'm going to pull through the other hole. This is so simple. This has become my signature move. Okay, again, the next hole, I'm just pushing the ribbon up near the hole. It's poking through just, I didn't even need my pokey tool. Just look at that. But if you did, you could like pull it through with that, something like that. So when you're pulling the ribbon, you can push down gently with your hand just to save, because it is paper, it is an envelope. And what you're going to end up with inside, see it's still loose like that, but as we pull it, it tightens up, so it's just a flat line across the back. And then you can pull it so that your ribbons are fairly equal, like that. Now you can bring that around the front. Let me just close that. Bring it around the front of your journal. Just going to close this back. Like that. Okay, and then this is why I put the flowers at the top and the bottom, so that your ribbon closure can tie in the middle. So if you wanted your bow in the front or your tie, however you're doing it, I would make those ribbons fairly even. Now I won't want my bow over to the side actually for this journal. So let me undo that. I'm going to put the fidget toy back in here so that I get the full, we'll look at that later, the full size. Do you see the two ribbons there? The ribbon on the left, I want it to come over top of the journal cover. Let me just demonstrate. If these were equal and this was coming to here and I was stopping here and tied here, that's great. But because I actually want it to come all the way over the journal down here to make a bow, see how it's now shorter? So I need this side to come out a little bit longer. So to pull that one longer, I actually need to make this one go in a little bit. So I'm pulling so that this one is coming back inside the envelope. Not too much, a little bit. And then I'm going to pull the other side longer. And then come around. Okay, let's see what that looks like now. So close my journal up. Bring this over to the side. See, now they're even, but even though I had this one wrapped around, right around the side. So, let's get this flipped around. If you have, this is like single-sided ribbon. If you have double-sided ribbon, it doesn't matter. But now I'm going to tie it on the side of my journal. And that's how easy the ribbon closure is. So easy, a 2-hole ribbon closure. So I don't often use grommets if it's like a hardcover book, but because this was softer, I did add the grommets. So you can view that in an earlier video of this series. But yeah, I really like this ribbon, Dawn. This is really pretty. The ribbon that came with the kit. Love it. Okay, so that is my completed journal. That's how it looks. So now let's talk about this kit. So it came with fabrics, and some of the fabric is from Dawn's personal stash and some is from her grandmother's stash. There's some vintage fabrics in this journal. It's in the journal we got papers from vintage books, and the pattern itself is just full of possibility. And then all these little embellishments, so these buttons were separate from the flowers, but I've sewn them together. And then laces and trims and flowers and puzzle pieces and buttons and charms and bulb pins and paper clips. And there were so many little goodies in here, plus some wallpaper samples and some playing cards. There's a lot of stuff in this kit. Now I did manage to do all of it. So this little brad ring thing for the tassel, that is from my stash. I needed something to attach. I could have just pinned it on, but I wanted it to be removable. And here I've used the pink ribbon, I've used the little rosebud, that flower, and then some of the ribbons that came, or lace that came with the kit. 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I use the same wax thread that I use for my signatures to sew, to make the buttons look like they were sewn in, and then I glued them to the flowers, and then I glue the flowers to the cover. So the cover is done with fabric. I did a backing on it. You can see that in a previous video. But this fabric that Dawn provided in this kit, I loved it because there's so many different colors to pull from, and I love that it was eclectic like that, and then all the colors that she had, I was able to very easily match up to this fabric. So this is from the pattern itself. This little girl is from the front of the pattern. She was missing an elbow and a knee because where I cut the other little girl out, of course, there's a big hunk missing out of her arm, her elbow here. So what I did was I took this pattern and I color photocopied it and then I cut the elbow out from the color copy and turned it and used it to reconstruct this elbow. You'd never know. I don't think you can tell, but I did reconstruct this little girl to put her on here. And then she's on top of the tissue paper, the pattern paper, and then on top of cardstock. And then I glued her to the front. So very fun. So there's one of the charms that came with the kit. And then again, with these little cards, the sewing patterns, the printable, I printed some on cardstock, and then I cut the little girls out of the sewing patterns and added them here and there for embellishments. So this little wooden butterfly button came with the kit. Everything you see came with the kit. So there's enough here between the pattern paper itself plus the instructions to do all of these journal cards. So this is my cardstock. I did add that to, I did use that. That is from my stash. So basically between the wax red, the cardstock backing paper, glue, and that brad, that's mine. Everything else is from the kit. So I will have to give this a 10 out of a 10 for content, this kit, because there's certainly enough of everything that I could possibly need in this kit. So the scrapbook paper that came with it as well, it was single-sided, so I didn't want any of them white, so I covered them with pattern paper, and I just did Mod Podge on the bottom, and then I added the pattern paper, but I did not do a top layer of Mod Podge because I like the feel of the pattern paper. I like that you can write on it still, so I left it like that. So I backed some of the fabric with cardstock to make pockets, K for Kathy, and then I again cut out some of the little girls for embellishments. From the pattern instructions, there's 1 through 6, so I've got them chronologically through the journal. So there's a nice variety of paper textures, which is really great. And as far as book pages, there were like I said, the old vintage craft books, recipe books, that sort of thing. But there's also book pages, and they are, you'll see them shortly. There's some dyed paper. This is one of the craft pages, and then a couple newer invoice pages and coloring pages. So I was able to get a nice variety and a nice cascade going here. I used some of the little fleece there. Here I've made some clusters with the tissue paper and used some rusty nails. This lace was around the package when it came, so I've used that for like a semi-private journaling space. And then she also provided these whale tail tabs. So these are all vintage, from vintage books. I took my leftover threads and made like a little nest. I did that in a couple of spots. I made clusters, and I used my colored staples. That was kind of fun. So here's some of the book page example. And then here's another wallpaper sample. So you see the variety of papers that you get, the variety of not just the colors, but the different font sizes, different textures, different weights of paper. Like, it's a really nice mix of paper that you get with this so lovely kit. Which, that variety in itself, to me, is what makes a junk journal so special. So here's my, in the wallpaper sample, I flipped this side over, made it into a pocket, and this is my pink spread. So underneath here, that's just stapled on. I've got journaling space here. This came with the kit. That's one of the embellishments, the colored brads. So that turns, so a little bit something interactive, and then just a journaling card. And then I found one of the pink patterns. Like I said, just to marry these colors, it's just makes it so easy to do. And then this ruler is from the pattern package. And there's one of the puzzle pieces, so I picked the one that looked the most green, and some of the ribbon. That's a very, I like this page right here quite a bit. And then another puzzle piece, so I grabbed one that was kind of red and green. So here's the green, here's the reddish color, and there's another one of those nests I just made with string. So I just used all the stuff that frayed. I just kept it in a bundle and then made these little nests. And that little leaf was part of the embellishments in the package. So again, just trying to pull colors together. Another journaling card here. But all of the wording behind is all like craft and sewing themed, which makes it very, really brings the flow of the journal together. And then again, all the patterns, instructions, same thing. So here's a cluster made with both tissue paper and instruction paper. And then I used my antiquing scissors, these guys, throughout the journal. See here and here. So to get this cascade or this layering effect, you have straight crinkle straight, or decal, I guess it is. So you have a variety of edges as well as colors. There's number 2, another cluster, and that's the end of the first signature. So again, another puzzle piece there. This 10 cents, that was on the package, the pattern package, and this is one of the wallpaper samples. So this actually looked like that, but I needed some height. So I took a longer piece of cardstock and I put one of the cards at the top, and then I chopped the bottom of this off and added it there. So now I've got some height. That twine is from the kit and the fleece is from the kit, and then I back that with one of the cards, and there's the journaling card space right there, and then one of the puzzle pieces here, again trying to, it was very close to this here, and another cluster. So here's something funny. I don't know if anyone caught this, but I didn't catch it until after. When I was putting my signatures together and showing you how to sew them into my journal, this was supposed to be the 3rd signature. This was supposed to be the middle. I messed up putting it together and I didn't even notice it until like 2 videos later, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. It worked out. It worked out just fine. So here I made a double belly band. So again, I just made some sort of a collage on a piece of cardstock so that could slide in there. And then I made this is a color photocopy of the pattern, cut her out, and some of the tissue paper just on a heart, and it's a double belly band, so you can get some layering. I love double belly bands. It's a great way to layer your add layers to your journal. I used one of the coupons as a tab here, but see what I mean about the book pages? Different fonts, different aging, different colors, a really nice variety of papers. That's definitely a plus in this kit. And some dyed papers. This, I don't know if you can see it on camera here, but there it is lined paper. There's faint lines there, so a really good journaling paper. And here I've added some more of the buttons just for whimsy, and then glued that little cluster onto this fabric pocket. Here's number 3. And then here, a different font again. And then the, what do you call those ringed things? That's the hole punches for that. So I love that shows on the paper. This tag, I added a rusty staple with some of the, I just cut strips of the blue lace for that effect. Here's another journaling space or a bookmark, and another journaling card. So again, just trying to marry some of these colors like that. Love this font page. This piece here is from the journal, or the pattern package. So I used that to, and the envelope came with the journal packages, or with the sewing kit as well. So lovely kit. So I did this, just glued the corner so this could be lifted up for a secret journaling spot. And then of course the envelope itself is a pocket, can be used as a pocket. Right here. And then just to marry again some of these colors, the green, I've got green here, there's green text, so I added green. The blue picks up this blue along here, and then the purple pants picks up the purple here. So and then the purple on this page, it all kind of, I just tried to really match up marry my colors up as best I could. I like to leave these for journaling space, the packaging paper, and there's another cluster. Here's my little gal here. She's seen better days, but she's hanging in there. So this piece here was actually cut off the side of this pattern card. Some of the McCalls have the title across the side. There's one later on that you'll see. I made a little notebook. I used the turquoise lace for this notebook. I kept my end cuts and used those to embellish the pages. This index card is the center, so there's a good spot for journaling. And then I've added a rusty staple and some of those coupons. I used distress inks and just kind of aged those a bit. There's another end cut. So just a fun little notebook with the cutie girls there. So that slides into this belly band, and behind this card is one of the playing cards. I used it just to add some vintage something to the spread here, and I use this part of the thing as a tab. Okay, here's my favorite part of the journal. I love this. So this was just the tissue paper again, glued on, not a second layer. Like I used Mod Podge. It's wrinkly. I didn't straighten it out very good, but that's okay. It looks all right. And then this is the dark blue fabric that's kind of got a gold fleck to it. So I don't know if you recall, but earlier on I said I'm going to do something with these fish. I have something in mind for these fish. And this was part of one of the pages where they were demonstrating how to paint an old wooden dresser. And they were painting some fun fish on the dresser. So I cut the fish out. Her hand, I used my craft knife and cut so that the fish could come up in between. And then here she had one of those candy cracker things. So above the roll of the cracker, I cut here and below, and then I could wrap the twine through there a couple of times so it looked like a fishing line. So that moves actually. And then this here actually is a pocket where the waves are. So this is just my favorite part of the journal entirely. I love those little girls. So they were on the front of the package, the front of the the sewing pattern package itself. So Dawn let us pick our kits, and I picked the little girls, and I had no idea those fish were in the package. So at first I thought, what am I gonna do with fish? But I figured it out, and it ended up being my favorite part. Here's another belly band with a card. So yes, these kits are very whimsical. Lots of color, lots of possibilities, many different interpretations, but there's some colorful, the fact that she included colorful brads, paper clips, and ball pins, really just that little bit adds something. Like it's amazing how much impact those small bits can have in your journal. That is from the kit as well. This is actually the flap of the envelope. So I glued something to the front and to the back. So the flap is actually about this big, and then I sandwiched it in between those just so that's another flip in the journal. And I was able to use more of the instructions, and at the same time cover up that flap and add the the cascading look here. And then I balanced some of the brown out here with the sticker that came with the kit. There's number 4. Here's some more journaling space and that whale tab, and then those book pages again. I love this layer. I love this look right here. I think that looks really pretty. It's, to me, it's what junk journals are identified as. So this was another wallpaper sample. So I cut it in 2, a couple thumb notches, and then I added a journaling card here. So with these neutral colors, I was able to add a pop of the red there, and this is the other plain card, and a pop of red there. And then here's that little glassine envelope, and I just thought it would be cute as a floating pocket. And then I added her dress to match this and pull out the red there. And the word sewing came from the big instruction pages. This came from the back of the pattern package. Here's another cluster using a puzzle piece, and this is the last signature. This was a pocket, but I accidentally glued it shut. So then I thought, okay, well, if you're glued shut, we're really going to glue you shut. So here's the McCall's pattern I was talking about, where it's on this left-hand side. But you could even cut these little tiny things like that and use those throughout your journal. Like, so many possibilities with these little cards. And I forget where her kit is, $5-6, I'm not sure. Like or maybe it's something like that. But that's a good investment right there, that pack of patterns. A little bit of the fleece. This is the carbon copy of that invoice book page. So another wallpaper sample here, and here's Dawn's card, and then I made another journaling card there. So actually I see now, right as we're talking, there, I knew there was one more little tiny piece of that, so done. Here's another cluster, and then another semi-private journaling space with this lace, and then this is the flap from the pattern package. So every little piece of that pattern package can be used in one way or another. This spread here has all the orange bits, so the orange ribbon. This starts layering to this kind of coral color, or peach, I don't know what color you call that actually, but I was trying to find a way to get this orange in there. So I picked the orange brad, and I guess it's kind of a coral color, isn't it? And then this card, so see how these cards once again help you marry all the colors together. So this little envelope came with the kit, so I made a tag. Of course, it's a journaling spot as well. And then I brought in this yellow card to pull in this yellow and bring these colors together, and then some blue for that pocket. And then I backed some of the fabric onto this one that I added the orange to. So just trying to put all those colors together so that this pocket, top loading pocket, I was on its own was kind of just big blue and bold. So I toned it down a bit by adding some fabric and then a card. And then this brad really just, it doesn't swing or anything. It's just for decoration. That's the back there. Lovely ladies here. I just added a little clip. Oh, there's number 5. Some journaling space. This was supposed to be the center of the journal. And with this came with the papers and that turquoise color to me. So that's why, because of this, my choice for the fabric for the cover, this was supposed to be the center of the journal, but it's fine. It worked out. I like the girls fishing as the center. This is where we covered up the feet. They're still in there if you want to see the feet, with a fabric, just a tuck spot. And then I used the blue ball pin there and just made that cluster movable. Now you see that this little girl is upside down. I have a journaling card and then that's just clipped on. It's upside down because I want the blue to show through the side. And I don't think anyone's gonna care about that. That's why it's upside down. Here's another belly band, and this is just a journaling card with some collaged papers from the pattern papers. And then there's that onions from the craft books, the vintage craft pages that came with, and some journaling space there, journaling space here and here as well. Now this gal, we ended up making that a tuck spot, another cluster here. This could technically be a tuck spot, but I just wanted to balance this yellow. So when I take this out of the back, this is the back cover, so I had this yellow to contend with somehow. So this was the balance for that. And then I've got this great big journaling card at the very back, so I need to fix that. And then there's another one of those pretty little clips, and then these little girls I cut out from some of the cards, and then another cluster here. And then in the back is our fidget toy. So this was how I used the fleece in the project. I made this little fidget toy, which is also a blankie, or a little blanket for the girls, and inside is just pattern paper. So that's where we get the crinkle from. So this is a fidget toy, and I have to tell you, this would be great for kids and seniors alike, because, or anyone that needs to keep their hands busy, because it's not loud, and I have a hearing condition, so that's why I'm saying I think this is great. It's not bothersome. It's just got that little bit of crinkle sound that we love to hear in our junk journals. It's soft, so it's very soft on the hand. It's very easy to, it's very pliable. It's very easy to squish around, and yet it keeps its shape. So it's a great little fidget toy. I think that if you were doing craft fairs, these little crinkle blankets as fidget toys would be a great little addition as a little loss leader on your, and they're so easy to make. I made a reel demonstrating how to do this. So easy. So much fun. So that little blankie lives in the back, that back pocket of the journal, the envelope. So that closes up, and then this closes here. So that's the entire kit. Do you believe it? So there is proof that the So Lovely kit can be used on its own to make a journal without much extra at all, other than like the craft backing paper or the cardstock, and of course your glue, and you need some thread. So those things you probably have already. So if you're like me and don't have a lot of extra goodies, like all the stickers and all the things and the stamps and the you know, if you're like me and you don't have all that stuff, here I just wanted to show you that you can use just the kit itself, the So Lovely kit, and make yourself a beautiful, fun, whimsical junk journal. So using the envelope as my cover, I was able to do that. I didn't need an extra book or anything. I'm not saying that's, like I said, that was not the challenge. That was my own challenge to myself. So that is what I decided to do for this project. So yes, the So Lovely kit is, you can see the variety of fabrics, the variety of papers, the variety of all the little embellishments, all the little extras, everything's right there. I didn't need to add a single thing. Well, except for this. But you get the idea. You wouldn't even had to do that. I could have just used the ball pin and pinned it right to the fabric. That would have been fine. Or you could sew a loop on there and then click it to that. So there you are. There you have it. So again, Dawn, thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this collaboration. It was a real honor to collaborate with you ladies. The So Lovely kit definitely has all the junk journal vibes. It's eclectic. It's all the different textures and fonts and sizes and colors, and it's whimsical. It's a great kit. It was definitely well curated. I know it took you a lot of time, Dawn, to put these kits together. They were done with a lot of thought and some heart and soul, because I know that some of these items were from your grandma's stash. So I think they're absolutely lovely. I hope you continue to make kits, because clearly you have a knack for curating something that feels just like a junk journal should feel. So thank you again for having me, and thank you again for creating such beautiful kits for us, Dawn. So everyone else, thank you. Take care. I will see you in another video. Bye.